This video is all about Gemini, which is Google's AI tool in Gmail. Now, I'm not going to talk about Gemini in Docs and Slides or any other area of the Google platform, just Gemini in Gmail. And this video is all about free Gmail. And another video I have, you can go discover Gemini in Google Workspace. So let's start right here. So first of all, in order to use Gemini in Gmail, you got to make sure it's enabled. Let's go look at the two places where you need to manage that. First of all, if I go to the sprocket and go to see all settings, you want to make sure that all the areas that are Gemini relevant, that would be Smart Compose personalization, Smart Replies, Smart Features. You need to make sure that you have enabled or turned on the areas that you want Gemini to help you with. Writing suggestions, personalization, suggesting emails to reply to, suggesting emails to follow up on, as well as Smart Replies and then Smart Features in Gmail Chat and Meet. You need to make sure all that is turned on to whatever degree you want it turned on. By the way, my suggestion, turn it all on and then start turning it off when you realize you no longer want it. Example, nudges. In my business email, I have nudges turned on. I'm going to turn those off. I don't need suggestions of what to reply to and suggestions about follow up on. I don't think. So I may turn that off. And the other thing is you want to make sure the Smart Workspace features are enabled. If you click on that, you'll see Smart Features in Google Workspace. This is in context to Gmail and Calendar. You need to make sure that this is turned on. And then you may want to have turned on Smart Features in other Google products. This would be restaurant reservations and maps and tickets and Google Assistant, et cetera, et cetera. You may want to turn that on. You may want to turn it off. For me right now, because I'm experimenting, I'm leaving it all on. All right, now that this is turned on, now we can use Gemini, and Gemini will help us in Gmail. All right, let's talk about the first feature, summarization. It's really a little bit of a letdown here because here's an email here where I talked about my LinkedIn profile and a bunch of stuff in here, and you can see summarize this email. I only got 2 lines of text. Teddy shared his proposed LinkedIn About section, and the user suggested changing for more impact by addressing reader pain points. Interesting, but it's very simple. And interesting enough, there's no real way in here in the overview for you to get a deeper dive. But, let's go look at another email here. Here's one here, planning for the meeting. So if I summarize that, what do I get? Teddy lists necessary items, and Mary handles furniture. Steve manages the screen, and Andy handles the restaurant. Pretty basic overview. That's number 1. Number 2, replies. Let's take that same email, and let's look at this email. Let's click on the reply button, and you can see that I have this. It says, press the / for help me write this. That, by the way, is the same as this button down here. So I can hit the / and it brings up this dialog box down here where I can ask Gemini to help me script a response. Let me give you some ideas. So let's see what it gives me with that text. Where I basically said, thanks for the info. If I may, I want to offer some suggestions. Maybe speak to the pain before you speak to the products. And Gemini came back with this. Hi, Teddy. Thank you for sharing this information. If I may, I'd like to offer some suggestions regarding your About section to make it more impactful to speak to the reader's specific pain points and digital challenges before introducing your products and services. Leading with these challenges can create a stronger hook and make your solution feel more essential. Now, that's not bad, but look what I can do with refine. Down here at the bottom, I can hit recreate and it'll do something similar. But under refine, I can say, make my reply more formal, make it more elaborate, or shorten it. Now, none of this is going to be absolutely phenomenal, but it is Gemini helping me to better write my reply. And you can see it's a little bit more text. Gemini wants me to rate my suggestion. It's always one. By the way, when you rate suggestions, you're also conditioning Gemini to give you what you want, or let Gemini know this is not really what I want. And then furthermore, instead of elaborate, I can say I want to shorten this, and it'll dry, and Gemini will write it. And this is actually almost back to where it was before. Bottom line, all Gemini is doing for us here, if I hit insert, all Gemini is doing is giving us some text that we can come in and adjust it even further. Please do not let Gemini write all of your responses, all of your replies without you touching it and give it a little bit of your own personalization. That's Reply. Here's the other area that Gemini can help you in free Gmail. Go to Compose. I'm going to send an email, send it to Lee at Burris Consulting. Testing. And now I'm going to make that big so we can all see it. And right here, I want to let Lee know that I have a meeting coming up and I need them to be there and I'm willing to accept paying for their travel. I could write all that in here, or I could come down here and hit this button right here. Help me write this. Now, pretty straightforward. I said, tell Lee I want him to travel to North Carolina for an important meeting, that I'm willing to pay the expenses, and I want his help with the content for the meeting. And I'm going to hit create. Dear Lee, I'm writing a request that you travel to North Carolina for an important upcoming meeting. I would also like to ask for your assistance in developing the content for the meeting. Please note I'm willing to cover all travel-related expenses. Could you please let me know your availability if you'd be able to help with materials? Best regards, Teddy. Now, again, I can come down here and I can formalize it. I'd like to invite you to travel to North Carolina. In addition to your attendance, I want your assistance. Please be advised I'll cover all expenses. Could you please confirm? A little bit different wording. And again, I'm after something that sort of is what I want. And I hit insert. And again, I'm having Gemini help me. So I need to come back in here and adjust this in the best way possible for me. And for me, I don't say best regards. Thanks, Teddy. And then I can hit send. This is about having Gemini in free Gmail help you craft an email message. Now here's the last piece, using Gemini. So by the way, if you click on this icon right here, see where it says try Gemini up here on the right? All that's going to do is open up this dialog box and it's going to say you may want to use Gemini for all these things. If you try it out, it's going to come up with a box or the page that says, hey, start paying for AI Plus, AI Pro, or Google AI Ultra. That's what this is the upsell. So my point is this, don't click on that icon. Instead, click over here on the 9 dots. And when you click on the 9 dots, now you can click on Gemini right here. And you can open up Gemini, which is the app built into free Gmail. Now, I talked about this in the earlier video. There's a lot of features here that you may have access to. And there's a lot that you don't have access to until you pay for, upgrade to AI Plus or AI Pro, et cetera, et cetera. But you do have an AI tool here. And it's going to typically always focus on doing what's called fast responses, which means not a lot of energy, not a lot of time. You do have the ability to use thinking and use pro, but they're limited. So don't waste the energy of your AI tool until you really, really need it. Stay on the fast until you decide you need a deeper dive. And then in a subsequent engagement with the AI, in this case, Gemini, you can switch and go, I want you to solve complex problems, or I want you to think longer for more advanced information. So really, my point is be careful, because if you try to use these other modes of Gemini, you're going to run out of resources and it's going to basically shut you down or just push you back to fast. Bottom line, free Gmail, you do have an AI tool and it is useful, but it could be way more useful if you were paying for a higher level subscription. Free Gmail, you have the ability to get a simple summary. You have the ability to give a simple reply. You have the ability to do a simple write an email message. And you have the ability to go into free Gemini and to engage with the AI to be able to have it help you do some things that you need help doing. I'm all about Google Workspace and Gmail, and I hope this is useful for you.